This place is insanely colorful. This is not a chain hotel. This is very rock and roll themed and kind of cool in its own respect. I mean, not the place I would have chosen necessarily, but they're very... What's that?
The bus is open if you want to go inside.
Really? This bus is open to check out? All right. They said we can take a look around in here. I think this is just basically a prop, but this is... I see. This seems to have been a tour bus for I don't know whom, but they've gotten it here at the hotel. I wonder if the suites of the hotel are anything like this. Probably a little bit more modern appointments, but otherwise, this is kind of cool in its own right. Yeah, this must have belonged to some rock star at some point, or at least was rented by them. Owned and used by several different rock stars. Don't know how this hotel managed to get a hold of it, but it's kind of cool all the same. We asked our travel agent to book us a room so that we could walk to Fenway, and boy did she deliver. We're literally in the ball yard's backyard. I wouldn't be surprised if we could probably be hit by a home run or a foul ball from here. The interesting thing is that as we were approaching the spot, I could see some people wandering around in the ballpark, and I was thinking to myself, because I downloaded our tickets, which said that the game was at a little after 7 o'clock tonight, which is a little late considering we've got to get up early in order to get to Logan Airport, but what are you going to do? And I thought, why are people wandering around here at 10 o'clock in the morning? Well, it turns out my memory was a little faulty. When I bought the tickets, it was an afternoon game. But apparently they had just rescheduled it within the last couple of days without informing everybody. And as a result, it's being held at 7 o'clock tonight. Maybe to get into primetime broadcasting? I don't know. Either way, some people didn't get the message, and they're here a few hours before their tickets say to be because they bought it when it was still at 1:30. Well, they're going to have to go through a lot of the concession stands, I suppose, which I'm sure the concessionaires will appreciate. While Daniel and I are wandering through the city, wondering where we can get some more souvenirs, we're also passing right by Fenway, and I have to marvel at the fact that this is built right in the middle of the city. Back in the days before cars were a ubiquitous thing, there's no place to park. There is no room in the area. And in fact, you know, the iconic green monster was built because you couldn't fit a full-size ballpark in this little square in which Fenway was put. So to avoid just lobbing a shot over the wall, they had to make the wall that much bigger to prevent easy home runs. It also means that a lot of line drive home runs, or what would be line drive home runs, just wind up bouncing off of it and get turned into singles. But that's how it works with the baseball cathedrals. They all have their ridiculous quirks to them that cause you to have to adjust to it. Colorado has its thin air that sends balls over the fences that much easier, and other places have some really weird corners to it. Fenway has its monster. I'm supposing this is why there's so many music-themed establishments around here. We've passed House of Blues, even our hotel is based on rock and roll, and right here in the shadow of Fenway is their music hall. So I guess they have that going in this part of in this neighborhood of Boston. Really don't know that much about it. On the other side of the street is the Boston Conservatory, and I don't think we can go any further because it looks like everything's fenced off, and we've got ourselves the interstate at that point. We really can't go any further in this direction, since we don't have any clue as to where we're going or where we're trying to go even. This is the end of the line, and we've got to turn around and find another direction. Ironically, we're more at a loss for where to go and what to do than we were in places like Halifax or Sydney. At least when we got off the ship, we were given some kind of map that the tour bus was going to. Meanwhile, we're just heading towards Boston Common and see what we can see there. And then we'll make our way back to the Fenway neighborhood and see if our hotel room is ready. One thing we noticed was that things are really kind of quiet around here. I mean, for a big city like Boston, there is certainly traffic and whatnot, but it just dawned on us that right now is Sunday morning, so yeah, of course things are going to be quiet and the business establishments aren't going to be going full tilt. And I think what throws us is the fact that we attended Sunday services online yesterday evening, so it's not quite the same thing. Today feels a little bit more like Monday, especially since now that we're off the ship and it's like, okay, back to the States, back to reality, here we are. Although this doesn't seem quite like reality either. We made it to the Charles River. Daniel looks at some of the film on the water and says it's awfully stagnant for a river, but after walking with Lars enough times on the North Branch of the Chicago River, this isn't really all that unexpected. I will say that things haven't really changed in terms of the colors, so that old joke that we keep making about never having been to Boston in the fall, I'm not sure we're here in the fall just yet. I mean, I guess by the calendar, we've still got a week to go before we are. I tend to forget that Boston isn't home to just Harvard. But of course they have Boston College and apparently a place called Emmanuel as well. Definitely in the educational district. From a distance, we saw the flag at the top of this building. Let's see if I can get it in there. And once we got there, we saw a plaque indicating that this is on the National Registry of Historic Buildings. I could have sworn the place was City Hall, but clearly it's not. It's only listed as, what is it? The Landmark Center, or 401 Park. It used to belong to, of all places, Sears Roebuck, which is why it's now been repurposed. In this case, there's the Alexandria Center for Life Science, and I suspect some apartments. They've certainly got some stores and restaurants here on the ground floor, but that's about it. It seems built for a larger purpose than all that, but there you are. Well, on the inside of 410 Park is a rather interesting looking food court where everything's done up fairly uniformly, but also with a wide variety of possibilities. So while we're not hungry at the moment, maybe we'll take a note of this because I don't think we're all that far away from our hotel at this point. Now, after heading about a mile in the wrong direction, I think we're making our way back to the hotel. So we're gonna see what that place looks like on the inside. We're gonna take another crack at trying to make our way around the city. We actually found a listing for a souvenir shop near what they refer to as the Faneuil Hall Marketplace, which is past Boston Common, so maybe a little bit more than a mile away. But since we've already walked a couple of miles since we got here, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah, we're gonna have to walk this way.